Live from Maiden Bay, ABC Columbia News at 6.
Some gave all. The Midlands and the nation paused to remember those who lost their lives in service to our country. Good evening. I'm Christy Vaughn. We're going to have more on today's Memorial Day events in just a moment. But first, let's get a check of your forecast. John, things are all quiet, and in fact, it's really sunny outside right now, but we could see some changes this evening.
Yeah, that's right, Christy. What we're looking at here is we're looking off to the southwest, and this is the first in a line of storms that is starting to head in our direction. It looks like things will get a little more bumpy in a couple of hours. So let's show you what's happening right now. The storm that we just showed you is this one right here, and as we zoom in on it, what you're going to see is that one's kind of given up the fight. There's not a whole lot with that one. It will continue to die off, but there are reinforcements behind it, and as you'll see, these blue outlines, those are severe storms, a ton of lightning with these things, and this whole mess is moving in our direction. So we have a couple more hours still of things being kind of quiet, and then after that, that's when the line of storms will come on through. So if you're heading out, let me give you a look at the temperatures here. You see where the rain has come. It's cooled things off into the 70s, or at least near where the rain has come. What happens is you get the cool air hitting the ground and then spreading out. So even if the rain hasn't made it yet to Saluda, temperatures are starting to come down. Aiken clearly coming down. The rest of us right around the low 90s. Here's the wind. It's kind of here, there, and everywhere. But when that line of storms comes on through, you'll know it's going to be pretty gusty coming in from the west and northwest, even as high as 40 miles an hour. So stormy roughly from 8 to 11, and then things will quiet down. As for your tomorrow, no problems here. We just got a little bit of cloudiness on the morning commute, and as the day goes on, it'll be noticeably cooler. There may be a late day storm tomorrow, but nothing like what we're going to see in the next several hours for us here. There's a look at the temperatures, about 85 or so. Christy, over to you.
All right. Thank you, John. Well, while many call Memorial Day the unofficial start to summer, some around the Midlands want to encourage others to take time to honor the men and women who gave their lives while serving our country. ABC Columbia's Gabrielle Franklin visited Fort Jackson National Cemetery. She has more from there on the meaning of Memorial Day.
Midland's families came out to pay respect to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Diane Davis of Columbia says she wishes more people would use the holiday to honor fallen heroes.
I think of it more than just partying and having a good time. I think of being prayerful about it and considerate and thinking about our country with the soldiers being in there, that how we can pray for them when they're on their duties and to just help lift up the families that have tragedy in their families and let them know that other people are praying for them.
For veterans like Diane's husband Ronald, Memorial Day can also be a time to remember fellow military members and their families.
Today I feel inside of me the hurt that some of these people feel because they have lost someone. My wife was very fortunate. The Lord has blessed us. She didn't lose me. So therefore, we pray for the people that have lost some people, that their family members or their brothers or their sisters or uncles or cousins.
Some parents say it's never too early for your kids to observe Memorial Day. Sydney Brinkliff says she wanted to visit a national cemetery after her teacher explained the meaning behind the holiday.
I told my mom I want to go to a cemetery on Memorial Day because it'd be nice to see all the people who served during wars and stuff. And my dad took me.
Sydney's dad, Stuart, is an active member of the military. He says he's happy his little girl could spend her day honoring those who served.
That was pretty cool. We've talked about doing it several times over the last few years and just got caught up in doing other stuff, and it's been good to just come out here today and just kind of walk around and remember and talk about what these people have done.
At Fort Jackson National Cemetery, Gabrielle Franklin, ABC Columbia News.
All right. Well, President Donald Trump marked Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery in Washington and around the country. Reminders that this holiday isn't just about beach trips and cookouts, but fallen heroes. ABC's Megan Hughes takes a look.
Gold Star families lining up at Arlington National Cemetery to tell President Donald Trump their stories.
He's looking down, he's very proud.
Thank you so much. And if you could remember just Jimmy, that would mean so much to me.
Trump seemed to put behind him that campaign feud with the Khan family, Muslim American Gold Star parents.
Every Gold Star family, God is with you.
Trump laying a wreath, observing a moment of silence, and honoring the fallen. While across the country, from the Hill of Flags at Boston Common to the motorcycle group Rolling Thunder rolling through Washington, to a small-town parade in upstate New York, signs of gratitude for sacrifice. Trump's former political foe, Hillary Clinton, parading there with her husband, wouldn't talk politics.
I think it's important to honor everyone who sacrificed their lives in pursuit of our rights, our values, our freedom.
Vice President Mike Pence welcoming a group of wounded warriors and first responders on bicycles at his home.
This is a day we remember those who served and did not come home.
And on board the USS Intrepid in New York City, a 100-foot American flag, a rifle salute, and a raw sense of loss after a Navy SEAL's parachute failed to open during a Fleet Week jump over the Hudson River just yesterday.
This has been a Fleet Week that started with such joy. As Fleet Week ends, it ends with deep, deep sorrow.
At that event on board the Intrepid, Jersey City first responders were given a special thank you for their efforts to help that Navy SEAL. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
Well, back here at home, the sounds of patriotism. This afternoon, the Palmetto Concert Band held a Memorial Day concert at the Koger Center for the Arts. The performance featured favorites like America the Beautiful and Stars and Stripes Forever. Well, tonight, many of you are making the return trip home after the long holiday weekend. You're probably already home. Well, the good news, it's not costing as much to fill up at the pump. According to GasBuddy.com, South Carolina drivers are paying an average of $2.02 a gallon. That's 34 cents less than the national average. Sled Chief Mark Keel says he hopes to put a stop to an alarming trend. Keel says there were 13 officer-involved shootings in both 2014 and 2015 where the officer considered the suspect's car a weapon. Keel says he's putting an emphasis on training officers to position themselves so that they cannot be hit by cars during traffic stops. Well, tonight we know the identity of the man who died after a shooting Saturday night in Finley Park. Richland County Coroner Gary Watts says 37-year-old LaRon Martin died Sunday morning. Police say the shooting was the result of an argument between Martin and another man. Now, if you have any information on this shooting, you're asked to call the Columbia Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. Golf great Tiger Woods was arrested this morning on suspicion of driving under the influence. Police in Jupiter, Florida say Woods was taken to Palm Beach County Jail where he was booked and later released on his own recognizance. Now, it is unclear if Woods tested positive for alcohol or drugs or if anyone was in the vehicle with him at the time that he was arrested. Well, it was a big day in baseball. Was last week's tournament run enough to get the Gamecocks into the NCAA tournament, or did South Carolina strike out with the selection committee? Our Greg Brzezowski joins us now. Greg, is this the end of the line for the Gamecocks?
Well, Christy, Carolina played their heart out in Hoover, fighting their way to the SEC semifinals, like you said, to prove that they were worthy of one of 33 at-large selections for that NCAA tournament. But as the field was unveiled this afternoon, the Gamecocks were nowhere to be found in the brackets. USC misses the cut for the second time in the last 3 seasons, something the program hasn't gone through since the 1997 and 99 campaigns. With a 35-25 record to go with a 13-17 conference mark, head coach Chad Holbrook was asked about his job security on Saturday in Hoover if this scenario played out as it has and if the Garnet and Black missed the tournament for the second time under his watch.
That's not for me to decide. That's not for me to discuss. I've been lucky to be the head baseball coach at South Carolina, and I stand by our success here, and certainly love the opportunity to coach the Gamecocks. But that's not my decision. That's for others to decide.
And coming up later in sports, we'll take a much closer look at what went wrong, what the selection committee saw from the Gamecocks, and also recap the rest of the regional matchups as they reflect the rest of the state. Spoiler alert, we're looking at only one spot in the upstate to try and bring a title back to our home for the second year in a row. Christy?
All right, thanks, Greg. Well, speaking of baseball, former New York Yankee Alex Rodriguez will now be trying to hit a home run with ABC News. Yes, he just signed a new deal to become a network contributor, according to a source familiar with the agreement. A-Rod will be appearing on Good Morning America, World News Tonight, and Nightline. There's no word yet, though, on when he will start. Well, up next, if you've ever thought about teaching, there's a new program that you can get that might put you at the head of the class. Plus, I think we're going to need a bigger boat. One fisherman didn't even have to work for the catch of a lifetime. That story is next on ABC Columbia News at 6. We are live from Maine and Gervais. Students with disabilities will have a clearer path to success. A new state law allows those students to earn an employability credential, recognizing their accomplishments and helping them to become independent. Now, under the current standards, students who cannot earn the necessary 24 credits are given an attendance certificate. The new law takes effect in 2018. Well, there's a new path to the classroom for those of you hoping to become teachers. Texas-based Teachers of Tomorrow is offering a program where participants spend a year as a classroom intern and take courses online. The Charleston Post and Courier reports this is the 8th alternative certification program recognized by the state in an attempt to fill the teacher shortages. Well, this is quite a tale. A 73-year-old Australian fisherman says he caught a far bigger fish than he hoped for when a 9-foot great white shark leapt into his boat. Terry Selwood said he was left with a badly bruised and bleeding right arm where the airborne shark struck him with a fin as it landed on the deck of his boat Saturday. Selwood says he waited on a rescue boat to come get him. The shark, which did die in the process, was taken to a nearby research facility for studies.
Wow, quite a story. Okay, for us here tonight, things are quiet right now, but look off to the south and west, some very active storms. These are headed our way. We'll go over when they arrive and when they leave on the other side of this break.